You spoke on behalf of the president, quoting him on the jobs report on Friday. Yeah. You said they may have been phony in the past, but it's very real now. I guess the question is...
They are very real now.
They are very real now. The question
simply... I just want to make sure you get it right.
When should Americans trust the president? Should they trust the president? Is it phony or real when he says that President Obama was wiretapping?
Well, again, let's get back. I think there's two things that are important about what he said. I think recognizing that it's the Obama... He doesn't really think that President Obama went up and tapped his phone personally. I think, but I think there's no question that the Obama administration, that there were actions about surveillance and other activities that occurred in the 2016 election. That is a widely reported activity that occurred back then. The president used the word wiretap in quotes to mean broadly surveillance and other activities during that. And that is, again, something, it is interesting how many news outlets reported that this activity was taking place during the 2016 election cycle, and now are wondering where the proof is. It is many of the same outlets in this room that talked about the activities that were going on back then.
So on the same topic, on the CBO report, did the president think it was real then and is phony now?
What CBO report?
On the expectation the CBO report is coming out, about which you said, if you're looking at the CBO for accuracy, you're looking in the wrong place. 3 years ago, you said of the CBO report that it confirms Obamacare is bad for the economy. So the question is...
It was bad for the economy.
Okay, so the bottom line is, the question is, was it real then and is now phony? As you said, it's not the place
to
let's
look
at accuracy.
Okay, so let's look at the CBO's projection. It said their projection on Obamacare was that in 2016 would have 24 million people on it. The actual figure is 10.4 million people, less than half the number of people that it predicted would be insured were on it, and it's declining. So the only point, Peter, is to make sure that people understand, if you're looking to get a bullseye accurate prediction as to where it's going, the CBO was off by more than half last time. So it's not, this is not about what my understanding or my belief of the CBO is. The last time they did this, they were wildly off, and the number keeps declining. And so the question that needs to get asked right now, or frankly the awareness that needs to be brought up right now, is that if you're going to look at a number tonight, I think you have to look through the scope of whether or not that number is. Now, it was bad for the economy. That was right. You can glean that in terms of the direction, what the impact that it had. But as far as their numbers go, on the number of people that they predicted back then would be covered now, they were off by more than half.
I guess the question is, when can we trust the president? When he says something's phony, or when he says it's real?
You asked a question about CBO. And now you're conflating it with the question of the president.
No, I asked the question about wiretapping first.
Okay.
And then we went on to CBO. So the question in simple terms is, when he says something can we trust that it's real?
Yes.
Or should we assume that it's phony? Well, no.
You suggested it's real. Absolutely.
How can we believe that it's real when you just told us that it was phony then, but now it's real?
I did not tell you that, Peter, and you're trying...
You told us on Friday that the president said, you didn't, the president said the numbers were phony then, but they're very real now. So how can we trust anything
I think
he says
there's a big...
that he won't later say, actually, it was the opposite?
Hold on. I think the difference is the president was talking then and now about job creation, the number of jobs. The issue that he brought up in the quote that you're talking about was the percentage of people who are unemployed. And there is no question that no matter how you look at this, whether you talk about 4.7 or 4.8 or whatever the number is, that number fluctuates by how people calculate who's in the workforce. Okay, Peter, let me answer the question. You're not. Let me answer it. The bottom line is the percentage of people who are unemployed varies widely by who you're asking and the way you do the analysis of who's actually in the workforce. The number of people who are working and receiving a paycheck is a number that we can look at. Secondly, when you're asking about the validity of the CBO report, again, I refer you to the CBO itself. The number that they issued that would be insured in 2016 was 26 million people. The actual number is 24 million. The actual number is 10.4. That's not a question of our credibility. It's a question of theirs. Do you have anything more?
The bottom line is, the question that you still have not answered is, can you say affirmatively that whenever the president says something, we can trust it to be real?
If he's not joking, of course. I mean, but in that case, hold on. But no, you're asking. Hold on.
Start over again with joking.
Okay, no. But your point is, if he's, every time that he speaks authoritatively, he's speaking as president of the United States.
More than 3 million Americans voted illegally.
And he still believes that.
Was he joking, or does he believe it?
He does believe it. Thank you, Julie.